entire day. So I went to go to Mug and Bean, and then we had something to eat. And then after I came back home, and then I found my boyfriend with his friends chilling. And then I decided, okay, because they were about to go out, because even now I'm home alone because there's still no child, and it's currently 9 minutes to 1 a.m. So maybe if you're seeing this, I'm joking, but yeah. So I went to my sister's place the entire day. So I went to go to Mug and Bean, and then we had something to eat.
Jo-ann Ntokoto Mabasa is a 22-year-old woman who allegedly stabbed her 31-year-old boyfriend to death. According to reports, Ntokoto has always threatened to cancel her now deceased boyfriend if he would ever leave her, following leaked voice notes. In the early hours of Monday, 22 September 2025, police and paramedics were called to a quiet North Bay estate where they discovered Xichavo lifeless body with multiple stab wounds. Forgive me guys if I mispronounce his name. A blood-stained knife was also found at the scene. According to reports, Mabasa allegedly confessed to the crime and was arrested on spot. The 31-year-old worked at the Greater Guyana municipality and was described as a hard-working and ambitious person whose life was cut short. So I'd firstly expand on the depth of the wound when I was reading this. Please, sensitive viewers and listeners, be alert. So when I was reading the report, I couldn't help but notice that he had multiple stab wounds. And the severe stab wound was near his neck. And apparently they also mentioned that a knife was still lodged in him. So that alone, when I was looking at it, I was like, okay, this is intentional. This was not done out of like self-defense. It was not because she was, it's an accident, which is very not true. How can you stab someone and be an accident? Okay. But on this case, I just saw that this was not out of self-defense, but it was more intentional. And because this person stabbed this guy multiple times, so they were intentional and direct about this. The aim was to finish him. So I looked at it, I was like, okay, this is very sad. If you stab someone multiple times, it just shows even the anger that was in you whilst doing that she was angrily doing it. So the stabbing wounds were very severe, and he unfortunately lost his life right on the spot. And I would love to emphasize on the fact that gender-based violence in our country is out of control. Like when I say GBV, there's this tendency of when we think of GBV, we just exclude it, we make it exclusive for women. Gender-based violence, it's not just about women, but also men, they fall victim of it. So it's not something exclusive, it's men and women included. And this is also the case of GBV. So the way I see it, I just wish that justice would be served, and without showing any empathy, because a life is lost here. And there are some people who are saying like, she is young, she's a child, she didn't know what she was doing. And I was like, okay, how can you stab someone and not know what you're doing? And you stab them, repeating it over and over again. At some point, if it's a mistake, you might stab a person and you sober up and see that, okay, what am I doing? I just made a mistake, But for you to keep on doing it, repeating it, it just shows that you were intentionally doing it, So I just wish justice system would not fail this family of Xichavo, or yeah, please forgive me for mispronouncing his name. How ludicrous is that you are studying law, because the report also mentioned that this 22-year-old is a law student. So for me, I was like, asked myself, how is it possible that you are studying law, you are well aware of law and the consequences that comes after breaking the law, but you still break it anyways? So that just alone, it just shows you how of a monster this person is. You are starting something, you are well aware of it, but you just decide not to abide by it anyways. So that for me was just, it stood out for me like, this is a law student. How can you do something like this? So around May, she posted a video on YouTube where she jokingly said that she would, you know, kill her boyfriend because she mentioned that, in a nutshell, that she is being deprived of attention because apparently her boyfriend was spending so much time with his friends, going out with his friends, and she was all alone by herself. So she kind of like voiced that out jokingly that if he's watching, she would kill him, for doing all those things, to her. So I just ask myself, like, why not leave? Why not leave if you see that you are being mistreated, than to end someone's life like that? There is no reason at all that would ever justify this act. So if you see that you are no longer being given attention, and worst part is that, like, even better part, I mean, is that these people are not married. I didn't see any reports mentioning that they are married, they share a child. They are not married. And obviously, sorry about that. Forgive me about that. So in the reports that I was reading, it did not mention that they are married or they share a child. So that makes it even better for you to leave a relationship when you see that you are no longer being treated in a way that you want to be treated, especially that there is nothing that legally binds you. So I asked myself, because you could see, in as much as she's trying to joke about it, it hurts her to say that, to put it out in the public like that her boyfriend just left with his friends, he's spending a lot of time with his friends. Like, why not leave? Because now that she's done this act, this is unforgivable. There's no law that can just bypass this and say, oh, we hear you, your boyfriend is doing this. Like, there is nothing that will ever justify this. So she just threw her life and her career just like that. She had a choice to leave, but she didn't. Now she has done this act, and there's nothing that would ever justify her or help her. It just makes her case even complicated, even worse for her. So, and I also want to outline this, that there's this say that says, out of the abundance of your heart, the mouth speaks. Yes, I think it goes like that. So she mentioned this on May. I'm not sure about the date, but few months later, 4 months later to be exact, then this happens. So are we going to like overlook that or say it's a coincidence? It's too accurate, She said she's joking, but few months later, then she does something like this. It just makes it to make sense for me that she did this intentionally, So I just also want to outline to people out there generally that we have to get to a point in life where we are able to control our emotions, because emotions and anger, they like go hand in hand. And the stupid thing about emotions and anger is that they fluctuate. They don't stay consistent. She did this out of anger. I am sure of that. Judging by the way she, multiply stabbed this man, it just shows that she was doing it out of anger, So that just shows that an uncontrolled anger can make you do some things that you can never be able to reverse or change. Because now she's sobered up, and now she sees that, okay, what have I done? And there is no reverse in this. She can never be able to undo this. So let us learn to control our emotions and our anger. Because when they are untamed and uncontrolled, they would make you or put you in positions that you would forever be sorry for the rest of your life. So one act out of anger can just put you in jail for life, and there's no going back after that. So let us learn to control our emotions and learn to control our anger. When you see that, okay, this is out of control, I cannot control this, get some air, do something that would take your mind off it, off of it. So make sure that in anything you do, I know when you get angry, you don't, it kind of like clouds your judgment, so you don't think straight. The only thing that you think is that, okay, if I do this, at least I would be heard. And most of the time, when you act out of anger, you don't do a right thing. So learn to control your anger. If you see that, okay, I can no longer control myself on this, just leave. So I personally do that. I'm a person, I do get angry, I have feelings. But when I see this, okay, this is getting out of control, I just leave. I would rather have you leaving me than me hurting you and regretting it tomorrow. Just like this 22-year-old. She acted out of anger and frustration, and she just did this. Unfortunately for her, there's no law that would sympathize with her and say, oh, we understand that you were angry. No, justice is justice. You broke the law, you have to face the consequences. So let's learn to control our emotions. Let's learn to control our anger. This could have been prevented. But it got out of hand. And she just went with her emotions, with her anger. And this unfortunately just turned her life upside down. A life is lost. This guy has a family. He's a son to a mother. He's a family man, I'm sure. There are people who care about him. He has friends. And you just ended his life like that. So please, guys, do let me know what you think in the comment section about this. I will see you on my next upload.